doing this again. Hey, my name is Clancy. I'm an artist and producer, and I just put out my debut album, Daydreaming. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna deconstruct each one of the tracks of the album. First song in the catalog is called Blame It On Me. You can listen to it up here if you haven't already. And a little bit of backstory. Just as a fun fact, this is the first song that I started for the album. I just made like a quick demo of it. I wanted to make like an 80s type of song. And at first I thought it was going to be a single. I didn't know I was making an album at that point. And funny enough, it was the last one I finished when I was already making the album. I literally finished this probably like 3 months ago. So yeah, without further ado, you can follow me over here. So we're going to deconstruct the intro first because there's not a lot going on here. So it just starts with this sound. That's just me with some drumsticks, just going like 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanted to record it like far away so it gives you this ambient sound in the background. And then you got 3 main things going on. You got filtered drums and you got 2 effects. So these are the drums. You can hear the filter like sweeping. Okay. And then you got these 2 effects. It's like 2 sound effects. One of them is like going down and the other one's like rising. Yeah, so let's just like take a look at the drums. So the drums I usually do a few layers of the drums. So the first one is just samples and it sounds like this. Very straightforward, and I wanted to capture this like 80s type of sound, like Lindrum kind of drum machine thing going on, you know. And then you got another layer which is acoustic sounding drums, and it's just to give it some atmosphere and to make it feel a bit more organic. And all together sounds like this. Very simple. Everything in this song is very simple. Then you got the bass over here, which I wanted to have a kind of a lead part in the song. Like instead of having like a guitar doing a melody, I have a pretty sick bass line going on over here. So this is it. It's just like a mixture of like 2, you know, one's like managing the low frequencies, the other one's managing the high frequencies. So the low one sounds like this. And the higher one sounds like this. You know, when you separate it like that, it's way more manageable for it to like pop out like in the mix. Both of them together sound like this. That's the whole bass line, at least when it comes to the verses and other parts. Then we got keys. It's just a bunch of layers of, you know, synths and whatnot. It's 3 layers of keys. First layer sounds like this. Second one sounds like this. I think this is the one that gives it the most presence in the song. And then we got this one. It's just to add like a little bit of texture like there, so it's not so bland. Then we got a layer of pads. I start adding a lot more like as the song progresses, but these are the 2 main ones. First layer of pads is this one. And the other one is like more low key, but gives it a bit more like, how would you call it? So the logic behind layering tracks like I do is just to make it a bit more interesting. Because when you got just like one type of sound and that's all you hear like throughout the song, is like super boring. So I try to avoid that. I try to like keep the song interesting, keep the song moving. So we'll see later on how that affects the whole song and how it changes. Here's the vocal for the verse.
I'm alone at this, oh no. I've been in this place before. Doesn't matter where I go. Wish I could just turn and run.
What we basically got going on mainly it's just that, you know, EQ, distortion, delay, reverb. I wanted to make it sound like very processed. You can go different routes when it comes to like mixing vocals, but I felt that for this context and this type of song, I needed something that sounded like very processed, very crunchy, very pop, you know. So that's how I ended up with this type of mix, and like a bunch of delay, a bunch of distortion, you know. Okay, so now we got the transition between the verse and the chorus. So I wanted it to be like a completely separate thing from the verse, because what I usually do is I just like keep using like similar chords or like a similar vibe. It's just like maybe for the chorus it's a bit stronger. For this one, I just wanted to like do the complete opposite, like tone it down, completely shift the song to like another place. So let's take a look at the transition, because that was one of the trickiest parts to pull off.
No, never, never. Please don't take me now.
So what happens is that the verse ends abruptly. It kind of fades away from that, and then you slowly start adding from the other stuff. So in this case, I have a bunch of pads and synthesizers, and I have a guitar. So the guitar, the pads, it transitions to the chorus of the song like that. So now we can take a look at the chorus, right? So the drums are exactly the same pattern, same everything. It's just filtered. So they sound, and there's a bit more processing going on, but it's just to give it like a slightly different texture and to make it like punchier, even though it's like filtered. So it sounds like this. Same exact thing. It's just filtered. Then you got the guitar, which is 2 layers of the same take, but mixed completely different. I actually performed this take for the demo. I just wanted to lay down the idea, but then when the time came to like actually record every single part of the song, same with the bass. I actually did the same thing with the bass. It's like I just kept like the original one that I did because it sounded so good. Then you got like the meat and potatoes of this whole section, which I would say is the pads and the synthesizers. So the first ones sound like this. Then you got this one. I love that pad. It's just a perfect mix of like, you know, it's trying to imitate like a human voice, but at the same time, it's just like a regular synthesizer. And then you got this group that I called vocal pad, because I just started singing note after note of like what I wanted, just to be playing alongside the one I just showed you, and really accentuate the vocal part of the synthesizer. So it sounds like this. It just comes back. That's the whole take. Like that's all it does the whole time. Also, I have this synth bass going on. It's very subtle. It's just to not make it suffer on the low end. It's just to give the chorus a bit more of that body, you know, but it's very subtle.
Please don't take me now, because the others will try to find me. I should never let go, but I can't handle it when I'm drowning.
I think that's very just self-explanatory. For the chorus, it had to be this like question and answer thing, like going on just back and forth. Then from the chorus, it just like jumps straight into like the next part of the song. No like smooth transition, no nothing. And we go back, and then you start like hearing new stuff, like this one. I just, like I said, this is all to make it like more interesting as the song progresses. Then we got another filter. So how I achieved this was just to like group all the instruments except for the vocals and just add an auto filter to it. So you'll see in the movement of the auto filter like how it transitions to the second verse. It cuts the frequency so it starts sounding like this. Like there's a party going on like next door, but alongside like cutting the frequency, like I boosted the resonance, so it gives you this type of like sweeping sound, like like
It's a time for me to see.
It's just a cool effect. Then silence.
Deep days at least.
Now another layer of something. Now we got a new guitar coming up. I called this fuzzy. This was just using like a cheap like zoom pedal. I came across this like fuzz type of sound, and I just added like a bunch of other effects on it, so it sounds like this. It feels a bit out of place, especially like in terms of like the tempo, like the how I played it. But the trick here was that I played it like on time, but then this was the demo take. This is also like one of the things I kept from the original one. There's a couple notes that I missed, so I try to quantize it, which basically means to like align it like perfectly on the grid and make it like on time. But I did it like automatically, like I didn't go like part by part just to like do that. So it just sounded like that, and I like listened to it with the bass. Like clearly it's not on time, but I don't know, like the vibe of it, I just liked it a lot.
I'd be nuts, listening on and on and on. Someone tell the two should.
And then we jump back to the chorus. It's almost the same. It's just that it's a bit evolved. Bass is still the same. It's just a little boosted. Drums, it's just the filter. It changes a little bit. It starts to open as the chorus progresses, right? Right. You can hear it. It's just like a build up for it. Guitar is the same. Now pads. We're entering the pad realm. We knew about this one. About this one. This is new. No. This is somewhat new. These two are the main additions to the chorus. Let's hear them together. Now it's kind of like messing with the filter, so yeah, you hear it like going around and like opening and closing, and I think it opens all the way by the end of it. Yeah. Amazing. And then, I added like a few ad libs to like accompany the rest of the song, so it's like.
Try to find me. I should never.
It's just so you can hear it like in the background, and it's not like the exact same chorus. This is what I'm talking about. It's like you have to make it like dynamic and always interesting, even if it's with like small details like that nobody's gonna notice. Yeah, it's very important to keep the song going and keep it interesting in some way. Yeah, it sounds kind of awful like if you listen to it by itself, but And then I added like a few more notes to the response calling. So it's
the others will try to find me. I can't handle it when I'm drowning.
yeah, and then you got this like riser by the end of it. It's very long. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea why it sounds like that, but that's how it is in the mix. I'm not gonna argue with past me. And then we got this solo. This was not supposed to be here. Like it was supposed to be like just the outro with the same bass line that you've heard so far. This we go back to making the song interesting. I was like, no, this is too boring. We've heard this before. So I decided to add a solo, and that was because the song is very 80s like synth pop. I wanted to add that type of guitar tone to it. Here's the rack. Very complex, I know. It's just a bunch of fuzz and a compressor, and then you got a chorus, a talc chorus trying to imitate the chorus of the Juno 6. So yeah, that's how you get that sound. You're welcome. And then we just say goodbye with some of the loops that we added. That's the song. Let's blame it on me. It's not that complicated, even though it took me 3 years to finish it. So I really hope you like this video. I'm gonna be doing more of these to cover all the songs from the album. So yeah, friendly reminder to listen to my debut album, Daydreaming. It's available on all streaming platforms. Like I said, you can find it up here, and I'm also gonna add a link in the description so you can stream it wherever you want. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.